She was best friends with Trini, which centered Trini a bit and gave her some depth. Farts! Purple milk donkey farts! In a can! You can also get the bottle if you pay a little more. But it's value. It's value, purple monkey milk farts, whatever I said. I've recorded 2 videos today, and I'm losing my mind. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and... Oh, wait. Super Mega Mode. Ha! There we go. That's better. Now, welcome to another Power Rangers Ninja Steel Hiatus video in the month of colors. What? Listen, a man can wear pink. Okay, so it's never happened on Power Rangers, but I bet you someday it's going to. But yes, for now, it's only the ladies who were as strong as they were lovely that grace this list. Here's a look at my top 10 Pink Rangers. Number 10, Rose, Operation Overdrive. Trust me, besides her name being really apropos to be a Pink Ranger, Rose's presence here on the list surprises me as much as it does you. Rose gets credit for basically one major category. She's one of the only Pink Rangers to be the brains on her team. There's really only one other example, and don't worry, we're going to get to her. Rose also had a really unique, eclectic intelligence, not just mathematical or technological, but also historical, which was a huge help, really the biggest help, to a team looking across the world for jewels and artifacts. Number 9, Cassie, in Space. As opposed to TJ last week, I think Cassie is more remembered for her time as the Pink Space Ranger as opposed to the Pink Turbo Ranger. Maybe because there was no Forever Pink to put her back into that particular set of spandex. Cassie was friendly and energetic and kind of bubbly, really, but also very determined and could get really, really angry when injustice reared its ugly head. One aspect of Cassie's character that I really liked is that she was one of the only Rangers we would see get kind of flustered, a little bit overwhelmed, but she was always able to take a breath, calm herself down, and plan her next move. It just made her feel a bit more real than some other Rangers, even those ranking higher on this list. Number 8, Sid, SPD. Sid has one of the more defined character arcs on SPD, starting out more than a bit spoiled and bratty, being a rich kid who decided to join up, but still wanting things her way and being more than a bit prissy. But she grew out of that over time into a dedicated Ranger who would place the welfare of her teammates, others, and even the world ahead of herself when it really mattered. She also had a nice storyline involving Rick, R.I.C., the team's robotic dog. At first wanting him junked as malfunctioning garbage, she warmed up to him and even convinced Boom to give him the upgrades that made him a valuable piece of the Rangers' arsenal. Number 7, Cat, Zeo. Cat is on the very short list of Rangers that have held at least 3 different sets of powers, being a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, a Zeo Ranger, and a Turbo Ranger. However, Mighty Morphin and Turbo, she was only there for parts of the season, while she was the only Pink Zeo Ranger. Cat grew out of her past of being an evil pawn for Zed and Rita, growing into her own as a hero, having a very similar arc to Billy and not believing at first that she was capable of being a Power Ranger, but finding out over time that she could do it and was excellent at it. Funny enough, while Cat earns the spot on the list for her time as the Pink Zeo Ranger, the thing that stands out most to me about her actually happened during Mighty Morphin. The first times that she morphed, both into Ninja Ranger Power and the Pink Power Ranger, she was so excited and enthusiastic that she'd been able to do it. And as I said before, I love Rangers who are excited about being Rangers. Number 6, Dana, Lightspeed Rescue. When you really want to dedicate yourself to helping people, there are few jobs more noble than being a paramedic. Dana helped those most critically hurt and urgently in need of care before she even donned the spandex. One of the things I really love about Dana is how enthusiastic she was to get into the fight herself. she was assigned the task of gathering the other Rangers and bringing them to the Aqua Base, and then she told her father off for not letting her get involved, until he showed her that the last folder in the Ranger team was her. Dana's character had a really weird but quick low point in an episode called In the Limelight, but other than that, she was always incredibly noble and very, very eager to help people in need. As I said, she would often tell her father off at the very first sign that she was being coddled or protected. Dana was nearly Amazonian in her dedication. Number 5, Kimberly, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Kind of weird that both of the original girls from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ended up at number 5. And up go the pitchforks again, and I just copy and paste my explanation from Trini. As a matter of fact, let me do that literally. Anyone from MMPR is hurt by one major thing, a severe lack of deep characterization. Kimberly was the valley girl, loving shopping in the mall, but also being friendly and good-spirited. She was a skilled gymnast, which made her agile and graceful in battle. Kimberly was best friends with Trini, which gave her some depth and also centered Trini a bit. And that was about it. Kimberly was just as two-dimensional as the rest. She was the valley girl with a heart of gold. Number 4, Shelby, Dino Charge. Now this is a Pink Ranger. This is where my trademark line in the sand is drawn, which I actually haven't had for a couple of these videos, come to think about it. As many issues as I had with Dino Charge, Shelby was fantastic. She was intelligent, feisty, and tough, but also vulnerable and connected to her emotions. For example, when she started crushing on Tyler, she didn't exactly directly acknowledge it, but she didn't immediately shut it down either. Shelby was ready and willing to do what it took when the time came, even going as far as creating a new Zord when the team needed one. Now, I have my stated issues with Shelby. She deferred far too much to her bestie in that lying episode, and she only participated in a costume plan where she had to wear a big poofy dress and heels when Tyler looked good in his suit. But overall, those were small issues, and Shelby was just awesome. Number 3, Kendricks and Corone, Lost Galaxy. In most cases here, I've been keeping the characters distinct, even if more than one person served as a given ranger during a season. But in this case, Kendricks and Corone were both so different, yet so good in their roles, that I felt like I just had to acknowledge both. Kendricks was that brains of the outfit Pink Ranger I said we were going to get to earlier, literally being Terra Venture's chief science officer. But she was definitely more of a Trini than a Billy, being very socially adjusted and friendly and sweet, and even going as far as to bend the rules a little bit to get Leo on board Terra Venture. Kendricks was also the first Ranger in the show's history to give her very life in the performance of her Ranger duties, sacrificing herself to destroy the Savage Sword in order to save Terra Venture as well as Cassie and her powers. Now, the reason for writing this in was actually from real life. Valerie Landon, née Vernon, had contracted leukemia and had to leave the show to undergo treatments, which were fortunately successful. But just because there was a real-life reason for writing this in doesn't take away a single shred of nobility from what Kendricks did. After her death, the role of the Pink Galaxy Ranger went to Corone, Andros' sister, who had been the villainous Astronema. And the show actually addressed that. Corone had a lot of guilt over what she had done as Astronema, and she had to battle her demons. At one point, literally facing off against Astronema in a part of a plan to save Leo. Corone wasn't quite as intelligent as Kendricks, but she was just as friendly and good-hearted and noble and brave. Ironically, each of them would resume the powers one more time. Kendricks was resurrected at the end of Lost Galaxy and used the powers again as part of the Lightspeed Rescue team-up. Then, during Super Megaforce, Corone borrowed the Morpher as part of the legendary battle. Heroes, we have reached the final 2, and let me tell you, this is one of the hardest decisions I have ever had to make in a top 10 list. These 2 are not just my 2 favorite Pink Rangers, they're 2 of my favorite Rangers, period. This is the absolute closest I've ever come to just saying forget it and designating a 1A and a 1B. However, one of them has to be the champion, So as tough as it was, I made the tough choice. Number 2, Vita, Mystic Force. One of the 3 co-winners of my Most Attractive Female Ranger Award, Vita had a punk style that I just really, really like. Vita was the rare tough-as-nails Pink Ranger, and was one of the only Pink Rangers to outrightly hate the color. Vita was one of those girls who would beat your backside for messing with her friends, but at the same time, she did have those close friendships, so it was possible to get close to her. Especially true with Chip, my number 1 Yellow Ranger. The two had a very great and unique friendship, best friends that never needed to become romantic. Chip would wear weird superhero costumes to school, and when the other kids teased him for that, Vita defended him, and probably broke a couple of noses in the doing. That's just the kind of girl Vita is, somebody who will fight to the death for those she cares about. However, by the narrowest, tiniest, absolutely most slim of margins, number 1, Jen, Time Force. Again, this was really, really tough. The only determining factor for me between these two is that Jen was the only Pink Ranger to be the leader of her team. Now, Alex was probably the leader of the Time Force Rangers in the year 3000, but when he supposedly died, Jen took command, and in 2001, Wes was really more of a battlefield commander, while Jen was basically the team's CEO. On the outside, Jen was tough as anything. She took Alex's death very, very hard, dealing with it for most of the season. She took this fight far more personally than any of the other Rangers, as she had lost something incredibly dear to her. It gave her a very defined edge, which is something that helped her keep the rest of the team on task throughout the season. But at the same time, she also had that quiet, practically hidden desire to find true love after she realized it wasn't going to work with Alex when he turned out to be alive, and to eventually get married, which is something that gave her a very subtle, quiet, feminine edge. It was that complexity to her character that just edged her like 0.001% over Vita. Well, that and this outfit of hers from the Wild Force team-up. Yowza! To paraphrase Movie Rita, I've shown you mine, it's time for you to show me yours. Let's see your viewer's choice for Best Pink Ranger. You know, heroes, sometimes we don't agree, but this week we definitely did. Tied for 3rd place with 3 votes each were Cassie from Turbo and In Space, Kimberly from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Carone from Lost Galaxy. In 2nd place with 4 votes was Shelby from Dino Charge Super. But with just a few more votes, and by a few more, I mean 25, perhaps the most lopsided viewer's choice ever, 1st place goes to Jen from Time Force. Thanks for the votes, everyone. The winner of this week's YouTube shout-out is Spectacular Spider-Man. I've heard he does whatever a spider can. Once again, thank you everyone for voting. This month of colors is just flying by, isn't it? Next time we wrap things up with an interesting list. Oftentimes people will combine Green Rangers and Black Rangers into one top 10 list, since it's usually one or the other on a team. But I happened to look, and there are just enough Green Rangers to do their own video. So in the comments below, let me know your pick for your favorite Green Ranger. As usual, someone who votes for the winner will get a channel shout out. Besides, it would have been kind of hard for me to find a shirt that was half green and half black. Green, black. That's going to do it for another Power Rangers Ninja Steel hiatus video. Thank you folks so much as always for watching. Make sure to like the video by clicking that like button right down below. In the comments below, let me know what you thought of this list of top 10 Pink Rangers, and also remember to submit your vote for your favorite Green Ranger. Subscribe to the channel to see all the Weekly Geekly, and also make sure to ring that bell so you get notified of when I post new videos. See you next time for Top 10 Green Rangers. Until then, may the power protect you. It was just a more real aspect to her character that I really like in her. The first time that she morphed, both into Ninja Ranger power and as a Ranger... Kimberly was the valley girl, loving shopping and the mall, but good-spirited and nice and kind and all that stuff you read on the back of the cereal box. I don't know. Okay. Anyone from MMPR is hurt by one major issue. No, it is thing. Farts! She was best friends with Kimberly, which gave... Kimberly was best friends with Kimberly! That's how self-centered she was. But also being friendly and good-spirited. She was an... This is the 7. This is the 7, because this is going to be 6, and I once again get to say that I don't have a 6 on my shirt because I'm wearing a different color. So this is 6, I'm going to screw this up, and then it's going to be 7, and that was about it, really. See? Kimberly is just as two-dimensional as the rest. She's the valley girl in the heart of gold. I'm tempted to do that as a split take, but I'm not going to because this is 7. I don't remember Biello, but 3 of these videos have had me do a 7 take somewhere in the middle. Exactly 7. It's a jackpot. 7, 7, 7. Ding, 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 ding. Ching, ching, ching. What am I doing with my life? Alright. Oh, boy. Kendricks was that other brains of the outfit Pink Ranger that I mentioned earlier and said we were going to get to. But she was definitely more... Oh, ironically, each of them would resume the powers one more time. Kendricks, one of the 3 co-winners of my Most Attractive Female Ranger Award, Vita has a punk style... One of the 3 co-winners of my... She was one of the rare toughest nails Pink Rangers, and... Dlingy things make me forget lines. It gave her an edge which helped her keep her team on task in the year 2001. I don't have it. This month of colors is just flying by, isn't it? This month of colors is just flying by, isn't it? Next time we actually wrap things up with a look at, with an interesting list.